Hi and welcome to my channel. I apologise to the very few subscribers I have on my channel. I haven't posted a video for quite a while, but as you might tell by my new environment here, I've moved. So I've moved to a 10-acre property out of town, and I've been busy setting up my guitar nook as it's been described, putting a few guitars on the wall as you can see, and a few other things. So I've pretty much settled in now, so now that I'm here, I'll hopefully get to posting a few new videos. And I've got a few good ideas, a few more comparison videos coming up, so bear with me, and hopefully you'll enjoy the content that I'm putting up. Today, I wanted to talk about a new Tokai Les Paul that I've just managed to pick up. New to me, that is. You might know, if you've been following me at all, that I had a Tokai Les Paul Custom plus a Tokai SG, and I've also got up here the Tokai ES 148, which is like a Gibson 335, all Japanese guitars. Now I sold my Tokai Les Paul Custom and my Tokai SG to fund another guitar that I purchased, and I had seller's regret. As soon as I'd sold them, I thought, God, idiot. Because you don't get anything for them. Their resale value here in Australia anyway is very poor for the quality of the guitar. So although I didn't lose on them because I bought them at a good price as well, I just thought for the money that I'm selling them for, I could just as well keep them. So as soon as I sold them, I started my search pretty much for replacement instruments. And fortunately, in the last few weeks, I came across this one. Because you don't see a lot of the Japanese guitars, you see a lot of the Chinese, Tokai Chinese ones, but the Japanese ones are far superior. So after a few weeks of negotiating with the seller, I managed to pick this one up. I might add that I've got my eye on an SG at the moment, which the guy won't come down at this stage, but I think I'll probably go up to his price because it's still pretty reasonable. I'm just trying to convince myself that it's okay to buy another guitar. We'll see what happens. Anyway, enough babbling from me. Let's talk about the Tokai Les Paul Japanese Love Rock. It's called Love Rock. Here we go. Okay, so we'll start with the top. As you can see, it's got the headstock, which is pretty similar to its Gibson cousin. Got the word Tokai there rather than Gibson, and Love Rock rather than Les Paul. The back of the headstock, it's got Goto Clusen style tuners with the tulip buttons. And as you can see there, hopefully it says made in Japan. Mahogany neck, bone nut. You've got the trapezoid inlays, binding on the neck. It's a relatively, I wouldn't call it a chunky neck, it's probably the 60s style neck. It's fairly reasonable, nothing too much, feels comfortable in the hand. I think it's a two-piece mahogany body. Very nice, bit of a flame on the top there, if you can see that, just a bit, not over the top, just a bit. Two PAF style Tokai humbuckers. We've got the tailpiece and bridge. 4 knobs with little markers on it, which is really nice. It's a nice touch. A really great quality guitar for an incredible price. Second hand, that is. This is a 2006 model, so it's a bit older, but it's in really nice nick. You know, you pay a couple of, here in Australia, you pay $2,000 plus for a new Tokai Japanese Les Paul, which is a lot of money. If I was going to do that, if I was going to buy something like that new, I'd be reluctant, I think, to spend that sort of money on a Gibson knockoff. I think I'd be more inclined to buy the real thing if I was going to spend that sort of money. But second hand, these just do not keep their value. So although this brand new today would be well north of 2,000, probably 2,500 or more, second hand here in Australia, you pick these up for around $700 to $800 all the time. You can always find them. They just don't sell. They sit on eBay and Gumtree for weeks. People just don't either know about them, or they're not inclined to purchase something that's not branded. I don't know, but they're just a great guitar. So for, you know, Fender Mexican sort of money, you can get a Gibson quality, and I use that, you know, reluctantly, but it is. It's as good a quality as its Gibson cousin, if not better in some respects. It's beautifully made, sounds great, which we'll hear in a minute. Just a great guitar. So that's why I buy them. I buy them for the value, not because I'm a Gibson hater or anything. I'd love to have a Gibson Les Paul, but I'm reluctant to shell out $2,000 to $3,000 on a guitar where I can pick up something that's pretty similar for, you know, half or a third of the price. And when you're, you know, someone like me who's just doing it for a bit of a hobby and likes to have a variety of guitars, it's just a great way of, you know, owning many different types of instruments. So I can't recommend them enough. If you're in a region that allows the sale of these, and I think there are some other brands, you know, there's Bernie, Greco, Vintage I think is another one. Quite a few different brands that come out of Japan. They're probably all coming out of the same factory, if the truth be known. You should check them out because they're a great instrument. And if you're just looking for something to have, you know, if you want, I mean, everyone wants a Les Paul, don't they? So, you know, I can't even pick up a studio here in Australia for this price. You know, the studios, looking at eBay recently, the studios are all $1,500, something like that. So, you know, anything with Gibson on the headstock, you're still paying an enormous amount. And I know there's a big furor at the moment going around with Gibson and their videos saying, you know, they're coming after you. Well, in a way, who can blame them? I mean, look, this is just a knockoff, isn't it? If I was Gibson, I'd be upset too. But, you know, for us, the consumer, it's just a benefit. All right, so let's hear some tones out of this wonderful Tokai Japanese Love Rock. So today I'm playing out of the Roland Blues Cube, as you can see here. This is a solid state amp from Roland Boss. Really, I love it. It's just got all of the qualities and sounds of a tube amp, but solid state, so you don't have the problems of running, you know, tubes and things, which you can get, especially when I'm out here in the country where it can get quite cold during the day in the mornings and things, and, you know, turn on an amp, and I don't know how good tubes would last in that sort of environment. So this is really working well for me. It's got some great built-in effects and things, and then it's a great pedal platform too, so I'm running these pedals out of it. So the reverb is coming from the Keeley's Cavern, which is a great pedal. I might do a review on that. It's got a reverb on the left, delay on the right. The drive sounds will be from the Timmy, one of my favorite pedals of all time. Just a really wonderful sounding overdrive pedal. Not over the top or anything like that, just has a really great sound. And I'm getting some compression from the Cali 76 compressor. And the reason I use that is I find that it just gives a quality to the solid state amp more like you would get from a tube amp, especially in the feel. It just adds a bit of squishiness to it or something. It's very subtle, but it just adds to the sustain and things. And I think it just kind of, it's like putting a blanket over, a nice warm blanket over the amp, and I find it just really adds to that tubey sound, which everybody wants. And the combination of that and the solid state amp seems to work really well for me. So let's hear some sounds. Okay, so here's the neck pickup, and this is clean. So hopefully you can hear there that that's it's a PAF style humbuckers, so they're fairly low output, but they're really quite clear. They're not muddy at all, which sometimes in the lower end guitars you tend to get that with the humbuckers and that. But that's, I think, a really nice open sound coming from a neck pickup. So that's the middle position, so the two humbuckers, neck and bridge humbuckers together. Again, I think you can hear that, not a muddy sound, a really nice open sound. I don't think you probably get the huge difference when you're playing those two together. It's maybe just a little bit more trebly because you've got some of the treble coming in from the bridge pickup. Let's hear that now. So hopefully you can hear through the video how much more treble sounding that bridge pickup is. Here in the room it's significant, it's really quite a bright, shrilly sound. So you're hearing quite a big difference from the neck pickup. Still open though, still really nice, low output, great sound. I think this guitar sounds really just as good as my Fender Jazzmaster, which has two wide-ranging sort of pickups in it, or you can't see it there, but my PRS single cut, which probably is my best sounding guitar. This is pretty close to it, and if you're not comparing them like for like, it stands up really well. Let's hear it with some overdrive, neck pickup. Yeah, so these pickups are driving the amp pretty hard once I put on the pedal. I've only got the gain at about 12 o'clock there, so it's not a lot. So that's, if I was playing a single humbucker, a single coil type of guitar like my Strat or my Telly, I don't think it would be pushing that nearly as hard. So it's got a bit of output. So again, you can hear it's got a really nice sound. I don't think it's muddy at all. I think it's got a really clear, open sound, if that's a way of describing a sound. It's you can hear the individual notes. There's some harmonics in there, so it's sounding good. Let's hear the bridge pickup. Okay, so I'm not Eric Clapton, we all know that, but anyway. Again, much more trebly in the bridge position. Again, though, I think, hear this on the video, quite a treble, much more trebly sound than in the bridge position than in the neck position. Okay, so there you have it. The Tokai Love Rock Japanese Les Paul style guitar. So just to finish up, why would you want one of these guitars? Well, as I've previously said, great quality, great price, really feels good in the hand. The most important part of the guitar that you feel is the neck, and this feels wonderful. It's got the high gloss finish on the neck, and it's got the binding, so you've got no, the frets just feel great. It's got the 12-inch radius fretboard. It's very similar to a Les Paul. Feels like a Les Paul, plays like a Les Paul. It is a Les Paul. So, as I said, for the money, second-hand, you can't go past these guitars. And that's what it's about for me. It's about value, it's about affordability, playability, and just general aesthetics and looks. I mean, I'm just collecting these for fun. I don't profess to be a great musician or anything like that. It really is just a pleasurable thing for me here in my little guitar nook in the country in Victoria, Australia. And if I'd rather have 6 guitars of this quality and this value than one Les Paul, 6 times the value, sort of thing. So that's just me. Everyone's different. Having said that, if someone wants to give me a $6,000 to $10,000 Les Paul custom or something like that, I won't knock it back. Anyway, look, thanks again. Sorry I haven't posted much lately. As I said, I'm now in a position that I can do that, so I've got a couple of great ideas for some videos. Some of the videos that have done the best on my channel have been the comparison videos, especially the one I did with the 2 tellies, and I've got some great ideas with that coming up. Some comparisons of Squires to Mexicans, Mexicans to American, that sort of thing. So that's my plan. So hopefully you'll stay tuned and you'll watch those and enjoy it. I've decided the channel's direction is really going to be about providing, reviews and advice, and just generally, things about, hopefully aimed at people like myself, who are just people who love guitar, love collecting them, love to buy and sell. That's what it's all about for me. All right, thanks again. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all the great comments that people have posted, and to the 50 to 60 subscribers I've got at the moment. Thanks again for coming on board, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.